Nelson Mandela. The greatest glory in living lies not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall. Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. It always seems impossible until it's done. I learned that courage was not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. Do not judge me by my successes, judge me by how many times I fell down and got back up again. Resentment is like drinking poison and then hoping it will kill your enemies. For to be free is not merely to cast off one's chains, but to live in a way that respects and enhances the freedom of others. A good head and a good heart are always a formidable combination. The brave man is not he who does not feel afraid, but he who conquers that fear. I am the captain of my soul. There is no passion to be found playing small, in settling for a life that is less than the one you are capable of living. I detest racialism because I regard it as a barbaric thing, whether it comes from a black man or a white man. A nation should not be judged by how it treats its highest citizens, but its lowest ones. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. Freedom is indivisible. The chains on any one of my people were the chains on all of them. The chains on all of my people were the chains on me. To deny people their human rights is to challenge their very humanity. I am not a saint, unless you think of a saint as a sinner who keeps on trying. I dream of an Africa which is in peace with itself. I like friends who have independent minds because they tend to make you see problems from all angles. People must learn to hate, and if they can learn to hate, they can be taught to love. The oppressor must be liberated just as surely as the oppressed. The greatest glory in living lies not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall. I stand here before you not as a prophet, but as a humble servant of you, the people. Courageous people do not fear forgiving, for the sake of peace. If you want to make peace with your enemy, you have to work with your enemy. Then he becomes your partner. Real leaders must be ready to sacrifice all for the freedom of their people. We can change the world and make it a better place. It is in your hands to make a difference. The sun shall never set on so glorious a human achievement. I am fundamentally an optimist. Whether that comes from nature or nurture, I cannot say. Let there be justice for all. Let there be peace for all. Let there be work, bread, water, and salt for all. Action without vision is only passing time. Vision without action is merely daydreaming. But vision with action can change the world. No one is born hating another person because of the color of his skin, or his background, or his religion. It is better to lead from behind and to put others in front, especially when you celebrate victory when nice things occur. I stand here before you not as a prophet, but as a humble servant of you, the people. Money won't create success, the freedom to make it will. One of the things I learned when I was negotiating was that until I changed myself, I could not change others. There is nothing like returning to a place that remains unchanged to find the ways in which you yourself have altered. We know too well that our freedom is incomplete without the freedom of the Palestinians. We must use time wisely and forever realize that the time is always ripe to do right. I had no epiphany, no singular revelation, no moment of truth, but a steady accumulation of 1,000 slights, 1,000 indignities and 1,000 unremembered moments produced in me an anger, a rebelliousness, a desire to fight the system that imprisoned my people. We are not anti-white, we are against white supremacy. Freedom would be meaningless without security in the home and in the streets. To be free is not merely to cast off one's chains, but to live in a way that respects and enhances the freedom of others. We can't afford to be killing one another. The struggle is my life. I will continue fighting for freedom until the end of my days. I dream of the realization of the unity of Africa, whereby its leaders combine in their efforts to solve the problems of this continent. It is what we make out of what we have, not what we are given, that separates one person from another. We do not want freedom without bread, nor do we want bread without freedom. It is not our diversity which divides us. It is not our ethnicity, or religion, or culture that divides us. Since we have achieved our freedom, there can only be one division amongst us, between those who cherish democracy and those who do not. I was not a messiah, but an ordinary man who had become a leader because of extraordinary circumstances.